let's start with what happened in Pittsburgh. Every storyline was about Aaron Rodgers, but the night belonged to Jordan Love. I couldn't love it more. This was a squash the cigarette game on the sidewalk. Put your hand on somebody's neck and let it happen. That's exactly what we got. A bloodbath in the second half. Loved seeing it. Didn't start that way, of course. Packers were zombies Halloween week. Sleepwalking. And then after halftime, they turned into the team that beat up on the Lions week 1. The attitude, the grittiness, the toughness, the attitude, physical performance, dominant performance. They set the tone. They were pushing the Steelers around, frustrated, ticked off. They were racking up penalties. This played a major factor in how this game went. This looked like a Super Bowl team again last night. Class of the NFC, FanDuel Sportsbook reads it that way. And it, I don't know how many more Halloween puns I can put in this. The killer instinct, okay, that they had to be the it in this game. By the way, Hamilton, there's a new It movie. I like this. Can we live in a world? Can we live in a world where I can opt out of those kind of ads?
You can't handle them? They're too scary for you?
In the world of, like, AI and all these things that are coming, I've got a couple of grievances. Why do I still have to plug my phone in? That's one. I don't want to hear about AI being able to solve my life's problems until, like, this is my big, we can't figure out a way where I don't have to I don't have to be attached to this some way. Work on this first, okay? That's my biggest problem. When we master this, I'll feel good about everything else. Secondly, yeah, I want to live in a world where, like, I don't have to, as I'm scrolling or watching Sunday Night Football or whatever I'm watching, to see the guy who pulls Georgie down into the rain ducts, Can I opt out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people that have children that have an issue with that. It scares the kids. But yeah, for you, sure.
There should be, in the world of targeted advertising, and that's like what the world of AI and streaming brings us, like target that the F away from me because it will make me want to turn the channel. I literally do this. And that was happening in the second half. If you were a Steelers fan, you feel me. You resonate with me because Jordan Love was that guy. He was a cold-blooded killer. We're going to get into the defense and that side of things a little later, but for now, let's talk about this Packers offense, demon mode, okay? I want to start with the quarterback. He played the best, right? 360, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. No sacks, pretty impressive. And he did one of the few things Rodgers never did in a Packers uniform. He completed 20 straight passes. It's not Aaron Rodgers he was keeping pace with, it was Brett Favre. He breaks that franchise, breaks or ties? Shoot. He ties Brett Favre's franchise record. He put up a new career high in passer rating in the process, and this is the kind of night I've been waiting to see out of this offense. And I also have to talk about Tucker Kraft. I said before the season I felt like he'd emerge as the #1 target for this team, that this is maybe the reason why they don't need to label a wide receiver 1. He is operating on a Gronk, Travis Kelce, George Kittle level. He's on that level right now for me, and he's just a maniac with a headbutt. He's the one who was crawling through people during that skirmish in the preseason with the joint practices against Seattle. That was Tucker Kraft, okay? Did we call that he'd have a touchdown? Sure, certainly we did. Do I really understand why the Steelers can't stop tight ends and could not stop Tucker Kraft? I truly do not. That's something for the Dan Orlovskis of the world to break down at some beautiful $1 million big screen somewhere later on ESPN. That's not for me. I just know the numbers, and that's what's going on. They don't need a #1 wide receiver when Tucker Kraft is that dude. You can't tackle him. He's a menace. And I think kind of like a tone setter that they need. I need to see, if you're going to squash a cigarette on the sideline, or on the sideline, on the field, on a sidewalk, whatever you want, pick your poison. You need kind of that kind of guy. He is that guy for them. By the way, and I was not convinced last week that they should be the 1 seed, that they should be favored over Detroit. They are the 1 seed. They're at 350 on FanDuel Sportsbook right now. Legit 7-team race in the NFC, which is so fun. Especially when the Packers are playing like this. And we get, by the way, a Monday nighter against the Eagles in 2 weeks, which will be appointment viewing. Steelers, look at me, camera. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. I'm out. I think I'm out on the Steelers right now. Oh, Hamilton, it's hard for me to say. Did I not go on like a 30-minute tangent about how I cannot believe the Steelers are not more Steelersy, and here come the Ravens? I just don't. Yeah. I don't understand why it's like this, and to fall apart in the second half like that, and you can't have the 30th total defense and be the Steelers, or can you? I feel like we're hanging on to the Steelers of the past, and it really feels like it's in the past right now.
It really does, and especially with the way things went down the stretch. Like, yes, the Packers took control of the game, but there were opportunities for the Steelers to answer, and they were more worried about getting into fights and getting personal foul penalties than they were in taking advantage of the opportunities to get back in the game. And that was concerning for me. Like, it just completely got away from them last night. And that's the type of stuff that can't happen if you're a good team. Like, you can't be that undisciplined in these big moments.
Does Aaron Rodgers still have the thing where it's like, but, you know, like I'm looking at the Ravens and I'm like, can they possibly climb back and all? But they can, because they've got Lamar. And all their deficiencies, you've still got Lamar. It's, you know, obviously Patrick Mahomes is part of that club. Allen's part of that club. And people want to say the Bills can't do it because their team isn't what. I hate that narrative anyway. But you have, where does that stop? Does it stop at those? It really stops at those three. And anybody who comes after them. And I think Aaron is more part of that group than not right now. Like, I'm not really buying into, and they can prove me wrong, of course. I mean, look at my stupid Bengals. I don't want to get into it right now, but like, I guess like in that division, I could still see this deal. I don't know. It's hard for me to buy into them even a little bit.
Yeah, I guess if the Ravens start getting hurt again, it can happen. But yeah, I mean, this defense, something has to change with this defense. I do think Aaron Rodgers is playing well enough, certainly, but you can't have the worst pass defense in the entire league. And as bad as the Bengals defense was yesterday, as bad as the Cowboys defense looked yesterday, the Steelers, as far as defending the pass, were worse than both of them.
But
so that can't happen if you're going to make the playoffs.
Why do they just look on defense so, like, one-dimensionally, like, slow-motion-y, like, no one's, like, doing the most? I feel like, you know, like, and then DK, and then, like, I said this all nobody cares. You need George Pickens. You can't have it just be DK out there. It's very clear. Yeah. It is very freaking clear, okay? And so, do they make a trade? Where's the most important spot? On defense, which is 30th in the bottom barrel of the league? Or is it adding a receiver that you gave up that, like, I don't know. It's I want to hear from Steelers fans. Am I being too, like, there's something about, like, I'd rather you be, like, really bad. Like, I'd rather be a Jets fan right now, I think. Because, like, I know, I see the misery, and then you get this freaking win, and you're like, let's go. I'd rather have the dopamine hit. Give me, like, a sugar high than just to be, like, eating chicken and rice every day. Give me, like, nothing, and then give me a surf and turf. And that's what other teams do, whereas the Steelers, like, yeah, like, they're always in it, and they're always a winning season and whatever, but, like, I'd rather be... This says a lot about me, of course. The extremes. Give me the extremes, because the wins then matter more. This is one that they should have had. Jared Allen joined the show here a little bit. I will say, like, to my stupid Bengals, who I know and love, who I believe have Chicago this week. I was wrong about that 4-game win streak. I'm sorry. Bengals did not beat the Jets. Completely fell apart. Ridiculous. Ran the ball well. Ran the ball when they shouldn't have. Way to not put the Ravens away. Okay, way to not let them be buried 6 feet under, and now we're gonna have, you know, return of them like some scary movie, because they're now the favorites again, 2 in the North, -105 to take it home, even though they're sitting there at a pitiful 2-5 right now. Defense looks great. Lamar's back soon, if not this week. So I feel like a run might happen. The sportsbook knew a little something that I was sort of poo-pooing about the Ravens.